Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight. Tonight's guest, we have a special guest tonight. We have had a sister that came up the ranks, so to speak. She grew up, young girl. She went to school, got educated, went on with her education, went into the Department of Corrections, and became head of education in the Department of Corrections. So first of all, we want to welcome Kenya, and we wanted to welcome Dr. Williams, Kenya Williams, to the show tonight. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Right, pleasure having you on the show. I want to ask you a few questions first of all.
Okay.
Dr. Kenya Williams.
Yes.
Okay. Kenya, where were you raised?
South Central Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay. Okay.
60th in Normandy.
60th in Normandy.
Right.
Okay. And you went to school where?
Well, I went to the high school was Manual Arts High School.
Okay.
The neighborhood was right in the middle between the Crips and the Bloods is where we lived on 60th in Normandy. So
Okay.
we were dead in the center of between that,
Okay.
both of those gangs.
Okay. Okay. And let me ask you a question. What kept you from going to the left instead of to the right?
My mother.
Okay.
My mother was a single mother of 4. She had 3 girls and 1 boy. And she instilled in us the value of education.
Mm-hmm.
And though I struggled, I was out of her 4 children, I was the one that struggled the most.
Okay.
I didn't have a very good experience with education. I didn't do well at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one night after a grueling session of her working with me, my siblings were asleep. And I looked at her, I said, "Why are you doing this to me?" I said, "You know I'm slow." I said, "Why do you keep pushing me?" And she said, "Let me tell you something, Kenya." She said, "It's not the name they call you, it's the one you answer to."
Whoa.
She said, "You're not slow." She
Right.
said, "Now sit up, you're going to do this."
Right.
And I asked my mother years later, I said, "Mom, why you fight so hard for me?" She said, "Because I had to fight for you until you could learn how to fight for yourself." And so it was because of that, she was able to get 3 doctors out of 4 children. So
Is that
there's
right?
3 of us that are doctors. And then my brother, who's now passed away.
Right on.
So
Right on.
her 3
right
girls
on.
are doctors.
Right on. Well, we're gonna show the audience today that it's not what you can't do; it's what you can do.
It's what
with
you
what you
believe
have.
you can do.
Right.
Because-
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we have a sister, a black woman, raised in Los Angeles, went to the public schools,
Yes.
and then came out public schools and furthered her education and became a doctor.
Yes.
Dr. Kenya Williams. So yes, it's a blessing for you to be on the show tonight. Thank you for coming. You left Los Angeles at what age?
I stayed in Los Angeles, all the way until I got married in 1990 because I didn't go to school. I didn't go directly to 4-year college like my siblings did. I went to Trade Tech College first, and I got my AA degree. And then it was because of my failure to complete the foreign language requirement in Spanish that I ended up taking sign language. And it was that teacher that said, "You know what, you should get into an interpreting program." So I finished my AA degree, and I became a certified sign language interpreter.
Oh, really?
And as I became a certified sign language interpreter, I was able to sit in those classrooms, and I looked, and I noticed that the teachers weren't engaging. They didn't understand that these students weren't getting it. And I came home and I told my mother, I said, "I want to be a teacher." She said, "Okay." So then I started a teaching program.
Wow.
I went and got my bachelor's degree in liberal studies, and then I went and got my teaching credential. It was my failure that caused me to end up teaching. Because if I would have stopped because I couldn't pass Spanish, I would have stopped right there and didn't complete my AA degree, I wouldn't have continued on to this journey. You learn the most from your failures.
Sure you
So
do.
that's how that happened.
You do. Now you moved up to Northern California.
I moved up to Northern California in 1990, following my husband, who was a correctional officer.
Okay.
And he ended up in the prison system down in the, working as a correctional officer down in Blythe. And I was working for public school. And I had gotten my teaching credential, and I was in the classroom teaching. And I had a 6th grader throw a chair at me. And I came home, and before I could even write the referral, the principal had the 6th grader come back through the back door and say, "He apologizes, have a seat." And I was telling my husband, I said, "I can't believe he threw a chair at me," and the principal brings him back through the door and say he apologizes. And my husband said, "You need to come to the prison. They're not throwing a chair at you. They're going to get more time. Nobody's throwing chairs."
Right.
And so I thought about it, and then that summer I interviewed and I got the position, and I ended up teaching at Ironwood State Prison.
Okay.
So I ended up teaching there, and then I enjoyed it. I loved it. I couldn't believe it was the optimum environment to just teach reading, writing, and arithmetic. Back into the little red schoolhouse philosophy. It wasn't 52 minutes of science, 32 minutes of math. It was actual teaching.
Right.
And I always say what correctional education does is that we pick up those people that fall through the gaps of public school, and we pick them up and we make them success stories. We take the time to teach a 40-year-old how to write his name, spell his name, read it phonetically, and continue on. But nobody in public school has time to do that.
That's right. That's right.
But we do it,
Yeah.
and we do it well.
Yeah.
And then we move you according to your ability and not your age.
Yeah.
So because of all this was in place, it was optimal place to teach. I loved it. It was the best kept secret. I loved it. So then one day again, complaining about my supervisor who wasn't there, who didn't sign my papers, I couldn't get things done. My supervisor said, then why don't you go get your administrative credential then? Why don't you become a supervisor? I did. so then I became a vice principal, went back to school, got my administrative credential. You learn the most from your adversaries, right? So I learned that's not the kind of supervisor I want to be. I want to be there for my teachers. I want to be a catalyst. I want to be a asset to them. I don't want to, go missing and can't help them.
Sure.
So I became a vice principal. So then I went from Ironwood next door to Chuckawalla as a vice principal. So I finished that and got my administrative credential, and then just following again this journey, and I believe God puts people in your lives, right?
That's a fact.
And then
That's a fact.
the administrator from that program said, you need to get your doctorate, because I had my master's by then. You need to get your doctorate. You need to become principal. And it just kept going that way,
Right on.
So that's what happened.
Well, like I say all the time that, there's no mistake that God makes.
Right.
There's nothing that God does that's wrong. Everything God does is for a reason. And your journey has already been written out for you.
Predetermined.
Already written out. So all you got to do is follow instructions and do what's given to you to do, And you're in a place now, the Department of Corrections, I don't know why they put rehabilitation on it, but Department of Corrections and rehabilitation, you're in the right spot now, because you got men that's leaving from this society out here and going into that society in there, and they're going to be in there for a long time.
Right.
Right. And a lot of them go into the system, they can't read or write.
So I'll talk to you about the R when we get to it.
Okay, yes, definitely. We need to talk about that.
We got to talk about the R in
'cause
rehabilitation.
the R is I was there.
I see we have opposing views on that R.
Yes. Well, I was there when the R came in.
You're right.
And we was doing the work. They wasn't doing the work. We was doing the work.
Right.
Where I was. So we had to bring programs in order for us to get what we needed to come home. I'm talking about lifers. We had to bring programs into the system in order for us to get it right, to leave prison with something that was tangible to come back home in our community and be part of. Because they was going home, coming back.
Yes.
So we had to start programs. We did. But you're in a position now where you're helping people get it right.
We hope so.
It's like I call it the metamorphosis.
Yes.
The complete change, and they go in as a cocoon and become a butterfly, and it's nothing that they can't do, thanks to people like yourself.
Well, thank you. So I think basically what we do well is build self-esteem. So if we can get the self-esteem up, and get them to believe that they can succeed. You see, this population doesn't have a lot of success in a lot of different things. They have broken down relationships, right? The system has failed them. The family structure is broken, and their personal relationships aren't well. And we don't know which came first, right? That caused them to be incarcerated.
Right.
And so now here they are in another system, education system of correctional education, and they haven't had success in this system, in any educational system at all. And so now, first thing we have to do is build the self-esteem. Give them some successes, small successes, whatever it is. Let them progress, and then explain to them they can do this. You can get your GED, you can get your high school diploma, you can get your AA degree. And once we do that, it's like once we just establish that, then we just let go, because it's going to be on and cracking from there. Like you say, you know what I mean? They're just going to keep going and going, and they just get hungry for the knowledge and hungry for it. But we have to have the programs there for them to do that.
Exactly.
And I think, and I'm speaking from what I know from the Solano and Ironwood and Chuckawalla, and I do say I believe they mirror the other 35 prisons. We have programs available if you take advantage of it.
Right.
And that's the R that we could talk about, right?
Okay.
So this is the first time at this point in time that this pendulum has swung back this way, where we actually have rehabilitative programs that we have poured money into. Staffing is at an all-time high. We're looking at starting third watch programs for yards that
Really?
are not programming during the day. We're going to have full education in the evenings for
Really?
them. They call them low progressing programs. Low functioning yards. We're going to try to start some programs in the evening for those inmates that on those yards that have no programming during the day. And we're also gleaning those inmates that are getting ready to come out and giving them priority to go into these programs. So, and then we have RACs, which are rehabilitative achievement. What's the C for? I forgot what the C, but give me a moment. But those are programs that you take. We take AA, NA, AA, parenting, anger management. We give you time off for taking those programs. Those are called RAC programs.
Okay. Okay.
So once we have all of those programs in place, all you have to do is sign up on any of those programs, any given day, 7 days a week, to get you get you what they call milestones, so that you could be released early.
So is this where the R comes in?
That's the R. That's the rehabilitative part.
Okay. Okay.
Also, the rehabilitative part is the fact that we are hiring competent staff to teach certificated programs.
Okay.
We're getting guys in welding and building maintenance and, fiber optic and electrical, get them training, and they have viable skills when they leave so that they can make good money.
Exactly.
So-
Well, that's what's needed. That's what's
Right.
needed, because at one time, you can go to prison, you get education, you can get high school diploma, GED.
Right.
But it wasn't, you can get a degree or whatever, but they weren't training you to do anything.
Oh,
They
no.
were just educating you. And now, I mean, they had a computer repair, a computer refurbishing, whatever, but they wasn't really giving you anything that you can go home and get a job with. Now they got welding, as you say.
So what they did a couple of years ago, I want to say anywhere between 5 and 6 years ago, was that they looked at all the programs and looked at the job marketability, and they looked at what was needed out there, and they meshed them, and they said, wait a minute, we teach automotive, but we don't teach automotive using a computer, which is the way it is now.
Right.
Let's forget about those programs and let's tear them down and build them back up again. What is the point of teaching you painting?
Right.
Okay, so they took those programs out to prison. So any program that wasn't viable for anyone who was released to get a job, they took them out.
That's
So
great.
now we have welding, and we have building maintenance, which is kind of the handyman certification, which is nationally certified through the NCCR, National Center for Correctional Education and Research.
Okay,
You get a card that you can go into any job site and say, here, put my number in, and you can say, oh, wow, he's certified in framing. He's certified in windows. He can do flooring. He can do drywalling.
Okay.
It's all on this card, this number we give you.
Okay.
All our folks are certified through NCCR.
That's right on.
Okay,
That's
the
right on.
other flip side is the office services and related technology courses. We're all Microsoft Office certified. When you come out, if you take that class, you'll be certified through Microsoft. They go on the internet, they take the exam, Microsoft Office certifies them. So every program we have now throughout the 35 prisons are certified.
That's good. That's good. So going into the system now.
That's that R.
Opposed, yeah.
That's that
yeah,
R.
And it's good. It's just great that they have taken that R and they put something up under the R.
They put a lot under
and
it.
allow
They took
people
down
to-
programs that were not
Yeah,
viable and
yeah.
brought up programs that were.
Yeah, that's
and if
good.
they could not get them the correct equipment, they did not start the program up. So there are few prisons that have automotive. It's very expensive. There's probably 3 out of 35. I'm not sure what the number is, but they're done by computers now.
That's right on. That's
So
what
they have
need.
to be updated. All our
Yes.
programs and stuff are all updated.
That's right on. That's right on. Well, the people going in the system now, they can come out better than it was when they went in.
Most
Instead of
definitely.
coming out the same way
They're not
went
supposed
in
to.
on stupid.
Yeah.
They come in with education and they have a trade that they can go get a viable job. Someone that's going to pay them money, and because the rent is high, they need to make money to pay rent. So that's good. That's good. Now your job title now in Solano
State Prison.
Solano State Prison is what?
Supervisor of Correctional Education Programs.
Okay, so you over education.
I run all the education programs at the prison, the vocation and academic, the law libraries, and the recreation programs.
Okay. So you're making sure that these people get education today. Thank you. Thank you. I mean that literally.
Right.
Thank you, because it's overdue.
Yes.
It's way overdue. People for years they've come home with the same thing they went in with, nothing.
But if you come home now, today, 2019, the same way you went in, then you
Yeah,
didn't
exactly.
want anything.
Exactly.
Because coupled with that, we have self-help groups that run almost 24 hours a day in each of the housing units that you can go to and take programs, right?
Yeah.
So if you come back and you get out of there the same way you went in, you weren't looking.
You weren't looking to change.
You weren't looking to change.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. We commend you for your work, for the service that you're giving, because you're giving a service that's way overdue, and we need people like you in the education in CDCR. Period. I know some a sister that's a parole supervisor in another county, and she's putting work in as far as parole, and that's one person that I know that's really putting work in. I know two now.
Oh, thank you.
That's putting work in, and I commend you for the work that you're doing. Continue doing what you're doing. If we can be of any help to you in the studios, let us know that we can promote you in whatever you need to be promoted in. Allow us to do that.
I want to be put out of work. I want there to be no more population, no inmates to serve. I want to be put out of work.
Well, but we gonna always have to have prison.
That's sad. I don't want to hear that.
It's sad, but it's a fact. We gonna need at least three.
At least three, north, southern, and central. We're gonna need at least three.
Yeah, at least three. We can cut them all down to three, but we're gonna need at least three.
Okay.
But we gonna always have to have you have a job in CDCR, because the changes come from you, come from people like you, and there's very few people like you inside. It's sad to say, there's very few people like you. People just there for the check, for the retirement, for the pension, But I'm glad to have you on board, because you're making a difference in people's life.
I think once you see the difference that an education makes, it's very easy to get up and go to work every day.
Yeah.
I see it. It's not something, I'm not collecting a check and sitting back and I don't know what the results are of what it is I do. I see it when I have graduations. I see it, speaking to the parents, speaking to the wives of the inmates that are in the programs and the rehabilitative programs and different things that we run, right? I also see it when they come in my office, sit down and talk to me and say, I just want to thank you. You don't know what you said to me a year ago, but you said, I have people that on probably weekly basis want to come to me to get out of education. I said, who sent you over here to talk to me? Well, I'm not feeling my teacher and I want to get out. I said, they sent you to the wrong person. I don't remove anybody out of education. No. When you finish, you can get out, but you're going to stay until you're 40 years old, reading on the 4th grade level. Why would I let you out of education?
That's right. Make it work.
You got to, when you finish, you can get out. You can take college, do whatever. But right now, you have to get your GED.
Yeah, that's right on. I make a phone call every morning. I have a niece. I make a phone call every morning, and I tell her, as we leave, I say, go out there and try to make somebody change the way they're thinking. Okay, because the mind is something that can be changed.
Yes.
It's a little conversation. So go out there and change the way somebody's thinking. That's thinking. Turn it off and put on the positive thinking, and make them change the way they're thinking. Because people want to do right, but they don't know how. And if they're shown how to do right, they'll start doing right. So you have to give a person what they need in order for them to change the person. It's such a kind of the whole environment that you work in, being in the prison system and stuff, and then that the students that you're dealing with on a daily basis are dealing with something totally different when they're dealing with custody. And then when you come up there, and I have a hill that's full of education programs and stuff. When they come on the hill, you have to have them shake that experience they have with custody to come up there and be ready to open their minds and start learning, right? And so the prayer that I do every day I want to be impactful. And I want to be a positive impact, right? I want to impact you, even if it's you calling you in my office to talk to you and let you take a deep breath before you go off on that teacher, and then you end up in ad seg. Right. So let's talk about this. What is going on with you? Why are you doing this? Why are you behaving this way? What's going on? You understand? And then when you get down to the bottom of it and you realize it's not about punishing. That's not my job. The judge did that when he gave you your sentence. My job is to educate you and raise literacy levels. That's it. So if we can work together and do that, then we've accomplished what we came here to do today, right? So if I can be impactful with you and speak to you and put a magnifying glass on your behavior and understand what you're doing is not correct, then that works, right? But then I will say there are some people that they're not ready. And I talk to them and they're still not ready. And I say, freedom's not for everybody. They get what you mean by that, Dr. Williams? I said, well, you understand your behavior is not correct, but you keep doing it. So when you get ready, you come back. But right now, you're going to end up somewhere else. And that's okay, because maybe that's the lesson in it. Do you believe that the ones that come in there and they put on that show, You think it's still up under peer pressure?
Yes. That's why I talk to them individually in my office. I get that. I get that you got to save face. I get that the homies in the room with you. I
Right.
get all of that. But I've done what I've done. Some people, I said, why are you behaving like this? Why are you cutting up in this class? I said, you're getting Microsoft Office certification that would cost you hundreds of dollars
Yes.
on the street
Yes.
free.
Yes.
Why are you behaving like this? Well, you know, I'm not feeling the teacher. I said, who you stay with? My mother. I said, what's her phone number? And I reach over and I call their mother sometimes. And I know it seems like, but I do. I said, well, I got, so-and-so, I got Willard in here. And he's over here, he's cutting up with the teacher and he's in the Microsoft Office class. And he just said he's not feeling the instructor. She put him on the phone, and boy, when he finished, and she's like, "Are you kidding me? I work an office job. I have to pay $10,000 to get Microsoft certified. You getting it free, and you're acting like this? I thought you wanted to change. I thought you said you were different. I thought you were going to come home a new person. Why are you acting like this?"
Yeah, you're just putting on a show for me. Yeah,
So something as simple as that.
Yeah.
But what it does is show them that I do care. I'm not about trying to just get you more time because, see, when we write you up, you get in 30 days
Right.
added to your sentence. I'm not about that. But it's about having you understand your behavior is not productive and understanding you don't have to like none of these teachers up here on this hill.
It's about
But
you.
you have to
About
get
you.
the message, get
Right.
the information from them and move on. You don't have to like them.
Right.
And I don't understand why we think we have to like somebody.
Yeah. No, it's not about liking somebody. It's about you improving yourself.
That's it.
You got to get the tools that you need. You need to go out there and be part of society.
That's
part
it.
Of society. Yeah. So that's what it's about. Yeah. Life is changeable if you want to change it.
Yes.
When I first went in the system, I went in Old Folsom, and I had Imam in Old Folsom. I started a program called Motivation Development Group in Old Folsom. And I used to get into with the imam because he said, everybody's salvageable. I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. I don't believe that. He said, everybody's salvageable. I said, no, I ain't. So years later, I saw him. He came to one of our aides at DVI Tracy. And I said, Dawu, something we used to argue about people being salvageable. And I said, no. I said, I realize what you said now. I said, everybody's salvageable if they want to be.
I think even if they don't want to be, they're salvageable. Guess what?
Okay.
It might not be right now.
Okay.
It might not be right now.
Right.
That's what I said. You can offer two people the same thing, and someone it just may not see the value in
At
it,
that
and somebody
time.
might not.
Yeah.
And I just think it's not right now, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But they have to understand, and if they may not realize what they passed by for years later, but you did it. You did your part. You offered it to them.
Exactly.
And then you move on.
Exactly.
So
And
I
that's
don't
all
get
you can do.
offended
Yeah,
or anything
that's
like
all you
that.
can do.
I just go, he's not ready.
Right now. Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. So we have to keep on moving on
That's it.
and keep on trusting and follow instructions. And say be obedient because we got somebody bigger than us.
That's running it all.
That's
It's in
right.
control of it all.
Somebody
I'm
bigger
just
than
a
us.
servant.
That's right.
Just a
We're
servant.
just doing the work. We're just doing the work. But I commend you. I mean, on the highest level, I commend you because you are unique.
Oh,
You are unique. Yes, you are. And I commend you in the highest level because it's not every day we run into a black woman in a position that you're in and you're loving your work. Not every day. So you get the high steps from me.
thank you.
And anything that I can do to assist you in any kind of way.
I might call you on it
Hey,
now.
You got my number. Call me.
might call you on
Call
it.
me. I'm not ashamed. I got a witness. You can call me on anything that I can do to help you, assist you along the way. Hey, call Elamine. Elamine's there. And we need people like you in our neighborhood. We need people like you assisting because we got neighborhoods out here that's sick. Youngsters are in trouble.
They are.
And they're not seeing it. We seeing it because we've been there. We like it in the looking glass. We looking out now. We can see that the trouble they're in, and nobody's helping them because they feel I got mine, so I don't need to help you, and that's the wrong way to think about it. So we need people like you in our neighborhoods. We need people like you to assist these black men because we're on the endangered species list. We're being wiped out.
Well, that's because people are shooting at us and we shooting at each other.
Each
So we
other.
got a whole lot of people,
A whole lot of
targeting
people.
us, right?
Right. We're talking ourselves.
And that's not good.
That's sad. It really is. So we want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, you're welcome.
And hopefully we can bring you back and allow you to come back and talk more about you and because we want to hear about you.
Okay.
You know, they need to write a book about you. They do. People need to know where you come from, to where you are now, to where you headed. People need to know about that.
Okay.
You know, because you got a light beam. It's beaming, beam, beam, beam. It's beaming. You know, yeah, a bright light. Yeah. So all eyes on you.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say thank you to Dr. Williams for coming on the show this evening. We want to bring her back and allow her to come on and talk about her. You know, we want to give a whole 30 minutes to talk about her because this needs to be heard. She needs to be heard, and you need to hear her. So we want to bring her back and allow her to come on and talk about herself. And you can call in and give me some feedback on the show, how I can enhance the show, better it for the viewers. You can watch the show every Saturday night on Channel 29 at 7 o'clock, Comcast Xfinity. You can go on YouTube and look at as many interviews as you wish to on YouTube. Type in the Wendell Elamine James Show, and interviews will come up, and look at as many as you want to. Or either you can call in and request one to be shown on Saturday nights. So we want to thank you for coming on the show. Stay tuned, and have a good evening.